Oh, hold on. I don't like the lighting as the problem with where this is going is colonization. Hello, it's England here for My Name is Country, episode 2. I think a lot has happened with whatever Cardiff is going through with me. I think Wiht is kind of a hateful gender that's turning into an innocent fangirl group of whatever it started as. I have a chipped tooth, and I gave my older crown to be stolen by Anastasia. I just couldn't do that crown. I told everyone this way. It was becoming carnies and I can't touch it. And my name was supposed to be ambiguously Amara again, and that's a female only queen, and I can't be one as England. So I got a new crown as England, and I'm the monarch that England is in this time period for you. And the reason people don't like that it is that story is because they assume Charlie is so cool like and all those other crazy things now wearing commoners gear. I don't know. I guess it's the problem as the country in the skit. I think that in general, as England, I'm about to be colonised by Ireland. I think that means my real country, since I'm filling in as the other country that is owned by the bigger country in Britannica, is supposed to be my name. Well, I mean, there's another England that's usually the face to England. That's something you really need to know. I'm living in a time period with water spills and everyone has Tourette syndrome in the mouth. I don't know where it came from. I don't know why it's a thing. I just know my crown is what's assumed by Yagomi in England. I think that rescuing lives through a life note as Kira is very noble, as the problem with my human name as the country at this time being Kira. And the problem is usually the country's name, as there's different editions of England, is actually George or Martin. There's nothing wrong with Chad or Princeton as editions of the country's name, and there's nothing wrong with Preston as the country's name, in my opinion, as Kira. It's just kind of the country Kira is never seen as the country England, and that's currently where we start. It's a real crown as to why it's in this video diary that's so not a roleplay as the problem with it. And the thing about whatever it goes to is kind of why this is not supposed to be seen as royalty together in this time period, and it is in yours, and that's what I have a beef with. I don't like that I had to dye my hair for whatever the colonisation process is in Ireland. They're like, and then you won't notice, and then you won't notice, and then you won't notice. And I notice, and the other versions of England don't notice, and it's justified, and it's never supposed to be with a tongue click. And it's justified because I was forced the wrong fair type. Whatever that means in Ireland, I don't know is England. I was just forced the wrong fair type. They even got a Bluetooth out of me. Yeah, that's why there's a chip on my tooth right now for no good reason. I mean, I guess I just got to see everything and do the death keeping, but I have to do a lot of stuff with older versions of Japan now. I don't know as the country. I have to keep meeting with Japan. I have to keep sitting down with Japan and saying, okay, so this time. And there's a disability in my eyes developing as humbug that only the other half are supposed to feel. And what we agreed is just a lot of cities in England, a certain style this is, and not us as England. And when they get to be England, it's really offensive, but beloved and allowed. I don't think Shawn Mendes caused me to have a double chin. I think he aimed for Marina and the Diamonds. And I think Shawn as that country just kind of has hateful till it's corrected. I don't know about Shawn, but I don't think it was evil about my accent, and I think everybody else was, because they assumed it was well, and the problem is that doctor was given away on the show. It is known there is one token doctor in a called 10 that is supposed to only be his own captor, and it counts for both of them as the fucked up part about Doctor Who. Yeah, well, I wanted the show dark and gory as England. I thought the show should be what it really was in the books, and I liked the Mammy arts too bad, and I knew it was a Mammy art, and I told my people it was a Mammy art, and the problem is there's nothing wrong with the name African American, as we've been saying. It's just kind of why I open with that and then cut, because whatever the case may be, I can't have American as my last name, and I want to help that colour in England, and that's the controversial part. It's reversed here. I don't tell people, like, the colour of my eyes. It's reversed here, as the problem with which you're now noticing. In England, if you're African American, you have a certain free will thing with green and meat just on the street. In a really creepy way, if you get to call it that. And we agree you want black as slang, and you want the N-word as slang. That's doable in America, that's doable in the West, and you want to come to England. You're calling them pokes and TARDIS a lot. You're not allowed to do that here. Well, we have to have your colour. Okay, well, do we rename it? Or do we rename England. Because the thing is, there's nothing wrong with wanting everything that your colour is promised and to keep it like ladybugs here. It is doable, my whole country, and I promise to you, if we can just figure out the name, or why your slur is just not ever going to be anything but what I'm assumed if Weasley has allowed it. Sure, Weasley takes this exact model as the problem with the colonization process until what's happening with my Chesterfield. It's flat. I'm finally flat as England. I just always wanted to be a boy, and it's the problem with whatever this disability is turning into. It's just kind of, when I scrunch, it looks like you can see my pecs, and that's why it's not the real garment for Weasley, and it is the royalty garment, and it's because of how I'm buttoning it. Now, very political, but I don't know, because I'm the country, I guess, and I think that is why Diana was a previous version of England. We don't tell you. She was just the London Times as a time period, though, because as different people as England and usually one main one named Braxton or Arthur. Well, yes, the edition of America that is Arthur is that also edition of England, and that's the problem with it being John F. Kennedy. Cool, we still would call that edition of America Arthur, but the truth is, Boris or Braxton is the name of England, and Chad and Princeton are the name of England, and if he has different names forever, you could just call him England. It's actually a name in England. It's just really offensive that you'd copy the country wrong and go by London unless you're Asian. Well, am I allowed to be Asian if this is the problem with my eyes? Okay, is the country ever to be seen as the Asian Empire it's about to be if it's called British Empire? We just changed the names of races. I am not being a racist, and neither are you for both wanting it. The problem is you can't say we're Japanese Empire as England, because then you know I am Dazai Yosamu as this edition of your country. And it's not a problem with how I'm colonized white this time. But Chuya is the assumption, and it is the problem with which you're now noticing in my accent. I guess I'm grateful to England this edition as the country, but I meant to say Japan and I said England. And I guess it's why this is not your usual edition, and I just love being this country for you. I don't mind why that is what this crown, not Carney's, as Kushner's crown will come to mean. And the Carney's edition of my crown. Really mean that? Because yes, we get real royals to rule. I don't know. I guess whatever the case may be is why Ireland is in truth the one colonizing me, not America. I colonized America. It's famous I did. Cool. Well, the thing about Ireland, as he's the older version of England today, he got crowned and everything. He got to do the crazy Fire Lord thing from the Avatar anime series. And we love that series as the problem with Toff's paintings in my country, and we even allowed it censored forever. And that's all I really earned so far. We're at that kind of level of the Buddha censored, and it's not being racist as my beef with you. You're honouring the ancestor of the avatar he kept named Tom Beifong. And there's nothing wrong with Kyoshi, who stays the avatar. There's something wrong with all the people and men who outgrew Kyoshi claiming that shit, though, and I think that's where we're about to go, as a country. You're claiming that shit. Well, we do have an option for you. It's called Masiki, and you vote me to be things as England as my colonization. And the truth is, you're only voting on England. We need towns that lose the accent now. I don't know. No one informs me as this edition called Bennington. No one will actually inform Light's edition of England. Bennington Empire is my edition of England, and it is just not always to know why it's happening. And it's just not to know, because I'm in the real country, really borrowing a role player, doing this as crazy, you now believe for some reason. And it's not a problem that my royals will claim they're the country. But I think in the end, no matter what you vote me to be or not to be, even if Neat is now very touchable upperclassmen, the thing about the country is, do you know what you're voting on?